Welcome back to another video, guys. So this is my wife's 2015 BMW 3 Series, and this is a great car. It's a real workhorse. It's done over 185,000 miles, and it's done those miles fairly smoothly. Haven't had too many problems. But in true BMW fashion, when problems occur, it's usually more than one. So there's a few issues we need to try and tackle in today's video. Number one is the side lights don't seem to be working, so we have to take a look at those. Number two, the brake sensors possibly are at fault, so we're going to have a look at that too. And number three is the air conditioning unit. So it's starting to get a bit cold now, so we need to make sure that's working properly before winter really kicks in, because she's not going to be too happy. So let's jump in the car and let's see what we can find. I've brought the car back outside the garage. Let me show you what the problem is with the brake warning light. So let's jump in the car and let's see. So we're in the car now, and I'm going to turn on the ignition. Shows brake system warning. Also on the iDrive, there's a brake system warning there. So these brake pads in the front were changed just a few months ago. So I know that there isn't a problem with the brakes, so it's quite likely to be an issue with the sensor. So I'm just going to jack up the car. I believe the sensor's on the left side. So just going to jack up the car, have a look. I bought a new sensor as well, so we're just going to change that too. So hopefully that does the trick. Because when I try and reset it, reset the service light, it's not working. Let me show you what I mean. Just going to turn the car on. And then you just press this little button here. Let's clear that. All right, let's press this little button there. Should be able to reset it. Yeah, reset possible. Press it again. Yeah, let's perform the reset. So it says reset in progress, and then it says reset unsuccessful. Right, so I'm going to change the sensor. Hopefully that does the trick. I think I already found the problem. Let's see if you guys can see it. I expect that is the wear sensor. So let's get that changed. There we go. So that's the problem. The sensor has just snapped right off. So should be plugged in there. So I'm going to replace that. So that's just completely sheared off. All right, we're back in the car again. Let's see if we can clear this light. Yeah. Here we go. Fingers crossed. Hopefully this works. Come on. Yes! Yeah! Right, so that's 1 out of 3 problems down. Come on, let's go to the next one. So the next one is the side lights. So just going to take you a little walk around. Let's check all the lights, make sure they're working. We're just going to change the bulbs as well, because let me show you what the issue is with the instrument cluster. When I turn on the lights, it's usually on auto, but there's a little knob there on the side. So if we move it to side lights, it'll say side lights are on, side light failure. So on this car, the headlight housing, you can access the bulbs through this little panel. So just twist that off. This one right here is the one we want to change. That's for the side lights. So just a simple case of turning it, twisting, pulling out. And that's what it looks like. So those are not OEM. Also just twist those off. It's quite hot actually. So I got a couple of these bulbs. Just want to push it in and try and twist. They are working now, but they're obviously a bit mismatched. I definitely do prefer the whiter ones than the halogen yellows. But let me know in the comments down below if you think we should be upgrading these headlights, because I think depot lights, pop a picture up what they look like here, I think will make this car look a lot better. But let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's get back to it. Let's change the other side, and then I'm gonna crack on with the AC. All done. Okay, those are the lights done. Let me show you what's going on with the AC. I'm gonna jump back in the car and explain what's happening.
Now that we fixed the first two issues, so managed to change the brake pad sensor, I think that was the problem. Managed to reset the light now as well, so that should not come back, so that's all clear. And the side light issue, so the bulb, I did check earlier this morning, and in true fashion, it was working at the time, so I wasn't really sure exactly what the problem was. But when we came to film, I noticed that actually on the right side, it wasn't working at all. So changed those side lights. Now, for the time frame that I had, I managed to only find some halogen lights. So we might upgrade them to the like LED lookalikes. But to be honest, the headlights on this car are so dated. It really brings down the look of this car. So I really do think that, maybe we should be upgrading the headlights. But let me know what you guys think. And now the third issue is the air conditioning system in the car. So it works at times. Typically when you start the car, it's ice cold. It's absolutely fine. The heat's there as well. When you drive for about an hour or so, then there's no more cold air coming out. You can still hear the blower fan moving, but it's almost as if there's an obstruction somewhere. So I've had a think, I've had a look, done some research. I think I know what the issue is. But for anyone who doesn't know, let me explain how the AC system works in cars.
Your car's AC system is a loop. So the compressor pressurizes the gas, the condenser up front cools it into a liquid, then the expansion valve drops the pressure and makes it cold. That cold refrigerant runs through the evaporator in the dash, and as air blows across it, you get icy air through the vents. Then it cycles back to the compressor and the whole process starts again.
So before we figure out exactly what the problem is, I'm just going to plug in my diagnostic tool. I've actually got even a kitchen temperature probe. Pop it into one of the vents just so we can get some live data as to try and figure out what the problem is so we can produce some proper diagnostics. So let me get everything set up and let me show you what we're working with.
Now that I've plugged in my temp probe, that's reading at 22 degrees. I'm also just looking at my diagnostic tool and just want to pull up some live data readings just to compare with the temperature probe. So the ambient temperature is about 12 degrees. That seems about accurate. But the main thing I'm interested in is the evaporator temperature sensor, and that's reading currently at 17 degrees. I've only just turned on the car, so I might have to give it a few minutes to see how it's doing. But I think that's likely where the problem might be. The other key thing to note is the refrigerant pressure is at 7 bar, and looking back at the probe, it's dropping to 14 degrees, so that's a good sign.
Okay, we're back now. It's been a couple of minutes. So our temperature probe shows 8 degrees. So that's cool enough. So the car has been stationary for a few minutes. So AC is working. I don't think it's a low refrigerant gas or a leak. But our evap temperature sensor is now climbing still at 19 degrees. So I think that's telling the car that the temperature is not cold enough yet. So it keeps pushing the cold air, and that generates like an ice block essentially. So it's blocking all the air from coming through. So that makes sense, because when we start driving the car, it's absolutely fine. There's cold air, even right now, there's cold air blowing through. You can see with the temperature probe, it's down to 6 degrees, so it's cool enough. But I think the evap temperature sensor is telling the car that it's not cold enough, and so it keeps pushing the refrigerant gas, causing ice buildup, then blocking essentially the airflow from coming into the car. Because when we stop the car, let it rest for a little bit, I suspect the ice is just melting. Sometimes you can see a bit of condensation under the car, which you can do for most. So I think that's probably what the problem is. So I'm going to try and get to the evap temperature sensor, take a look at it, see if there's any visible damage, and then just likely get a new part replaced, ordered, and replace that one. I have pushed through, like zip ties from the bottom just to see if there's any debris. There's nothing that I could find and causing any blockages there. I even ran some sort of chemical cleaner through the AC system, and that didn't really seem to do very much either. So I think it is a temperature sensor problem, which is what's causing this issue. So let's get to the glove box. That's where the temperature sensor is. Remove the glove box and take a look inside. Let's crack on. I believe this right here is the evap temperature sensor. Gently pry it out. So, I believe that's what it looks like. Just gonna double check a part number. Okay, so we've taken out the part, and I have double checked the part number. This is 9238085. So this is the evap temperature sensor. Now this costs about 50 or 60 quid from BMW. Even online, I might be able to get a used one if it's working for far less. So I think this is what the issue is. So I'm going to get the part ordered. I'll probably go used, but new to me. Because I don't think I want to be spending 50 or 60 pounds on a part that potentially might not be what the fix is. So fingers crossed, we'll see. I'm afraid that's it for this video, because this part's going to come in the next few days. So thank you guys so much for watching. I think we managed to do 2 out of 3 problems, which I don't think that's too bad. I think we did okay. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Be sure to subscribe, because we got some awesome, I'm so excited for what's going to be coming up on this channel. So make sure you don't miss out. So thanks again. I'll see you next time. Chewy out.